and rounds will be fired, 25, 30 rounds, and no one calls the police. No one talks to us. Does that make us safer? It doesn't make us safer. We need your help. If you see something, say something. This is not a novel concept. And we're talking about seeing and saying things about a variety of things. Obviously, if you see a weapon, that's something to say something about. May I say, there was an incident not that long ago, last Thursday, in a high school in Montgomery County. 2 boys went into a bathroom, saw what they thought was a gun by another boy, and I think they did the right thing. One called their mother immediately, who got contacted the school. The other ran down to the front office and told them, "We think there's somebody with a gun in the school." And they didn't recover the gun. But that's what we should do. We've unfortunately, sadly, had situations where guns have been in our schools, used in our schools, and that was not the reaction. That's not who we are. That's not who we are. I don't believe that's who you are either. You know, this is a national number. You know, I've listened to the superintendent of schools, and I do believe this. What happens in the community ultimately makes its way into the schools. If you look here, this is 2,000 known people under the age of 18 who were offenders using guns, killing people. The number is 22. It goes up here. If we had 21 and 22, the number would be over here somewhere. The number of juveniles killing people with something other than guns is relatively stable, almost actually gone down. That's something we have to deal with. Active shooter incidences, you know that. You just have to watch TV in America today to know about them. But this, if we went back to 2000, it'd probably be like 1, 2, 0. In 17, we get to 31. But look what happens even as the numbers begin to increase. This is some COVID years here. But then in 2020, you go to 40 and then to 61. 50% increase year over year. I listen to the offices of your student government. They know this. You know. We're not talking about something that's not part of the world we live in. There's 2 numbers here. Between the ages of 12 and 17, in 2020, 4,000 people lost their lives to gun violence. 4,000. How many of you in this room are between the ages of 12 and 17? Probably almost most of you. Here's another thing about guns. We're talking about guns. It's not always because somebody points a gun at somebody and intentionally wants to do them harm. A lot of times it's unintentional, accidental. Because of the number of guns in our community, we've seen an increased number of accidental shootings. Nobody's intending to do it. Look at the number of victims. 2,300 from 1,600. These are numbers. But they're real people. These are real lives. Look, these events you know about. We lived with Uvalde all summer long. They're still dealing with it because a lot of the conversations about the nature of the police response. Should they have gone in faster? If they've gone in faster, would they have saved more lives? I think the answer is obviously yes. If you see something, say something. Now, it's not just about seeing weapons. Social scientists have studied young people who've been involved in bringing guns to school and being involved in these mass shootings. And they began to identify common factors that they saw in the makeup of the personalities were things that were being experienced by those young kids before the events took place. Suddenly withdrawing from friends, including online and isolation. Now, some people do that, but not any one of these is predictive, but social isolation, bullying. Look, there's a bullying problem in schools. A lot of it comes off starts on the internet, and a lot of people bullied people during COVID, thinking they were never going to ever have to see that person back face to face again, and then school started again. And it was on. I saw that over and over again as I studied the case. But bullying is a big part of what fuels this desire to hurt somebody else. That bullying can be based on race, religion, gender, sexual orientation. Excessive irritability, becoming angry, experiencing chronic loneliness, social isolation, expressing someone who's persistently talking about harming themselves. Now, as you go through this may not be an issue for my office or the police. But if we love and we care about each other, maybe it's an issue where you talk to a trusted adult in your life or in your school and say, look, I'm talking to John and he's saying these things. Somebody get to him. If you love the people that are your friends or the people that you go to school with, these are the kinds of things you talk to a trusted adult about. This is not about locking people up. I've locked enough people up. I don't want to lock anybody else up. I can do that if I have to, but I don't want to do that. I'm here to make my favorite number is 0. If I had no drug cases to prosecute, no gun cases to prosecute, no homicides to prosecute, I'd be the best state attorney in America. That's why education is so important. That's why it's so important that you get engaged in this. By the way, the state of Maryland did something in 2018 that was very important. What they did is they passed a thing called the School Safety Act of 2018. And when they created that act, they created a tip line that operates 365 days a year, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You can call that tip line. There's the telephone number. I actually called it just to see. Literally, I never had a tip, but I called and I interviewed the person on the other end. They asked them how many calls they get each day. About 10 or 12 a day they get statewide. A little bit slower in the summertime, but they get them. I did an interview of the people at the tip center. You can do this. Why is the tip line number important? If you see something, and for whatever reason you want to remain anonymous, rather than going to the wonderful, trusting, there's tremendous people here in this school. Wonderful people that want to help you. That is their mission in life. It's what they've chosen as their profession, is to work with young people and make their lives better. That's why they're teachers, counselors, administrators in your school. But if for one reason or another you say, I'd rather do it anonymously, do it. You can call anonymous and you will remain anonymous. If we're talking about, I'm talking about gun violence, I'm talking about guns close to home. There's going to be a later slide about when can you legally, I'm going to steal some thunder, when can you legally be in possession of a gun in the state of Maryland? A handgun, infant type. The answer is 21. All right? However, there was an epidemic in this country where people began to buy ghost guns online. They're not serialized, they're not traceable. And I'm terrified by ghost guns. And why am I terrified by ghost guns? Because I will tell you, in my community and in the community that you live in, the largest category of these guns fall into the hands of 2 people. One, someone who we would call a prohibited person. Someone because they already committed a sex offense against a child. They committed an armed robbery. They've committed a crime of violence. And we as Marylanders have said, that person should not have a gun. So you can't go buy a gun. You get those. We also know that under the age of 21, kids can't buy guns. But these unscrupulous companies were selling them to children. And the vast majority of the guns that we take out of schools in Montgomery County are ghost guns. The first murder that was committed in this community using a ghost gun. The shooter was 14 years old. He got a ghost gun and was shipped to his house. Parents didn't know. Got his buddy to come over to assemble it in the house. And he used it to kill another woman at age 14. These numbers terrify me. Look, right now, illegally we have seized, as of September 11th, if I got it up to today's date, the number would probably be slightly higher. We seized 900 guns off the street. We're probably going to get very close to the highest number of guns we've ever seized, ever in a single year, but we're not there. We're not there. But where I'm most concerned is down here. I didn't know what ghost guns were 5 years ago. I have been in law enforcement for decades. I didn't know what the damn things were. I wish I didn't know what they were now, but I do. And the reality is, I think you probably know what they are too. By the way, we're going to get to that. But look at the increase: 16, 56, 71. As of the 11th, we had 148. The number of these guns on the street in the hands of felons or individuals under the age of 21. A lot of the increased violence, look, I look at the numbers, the stats all the time. A lot of the increased violence, whether it was the homicides, aggravated assaults, or gun stuff last year, was individuals under the age of 21. That's what's happening in the community. It was under 21, increased level of violence. This is a local video.
My mom was killed 8 years ago. I'm a mother of a married son. He was married at age 20.
My junior year was when it really got real for me because we had 3 gun-related incidents on campus.
Every single time I walked into a classroom, the first day my little voice and intersected it.
What if my family is the next family that has one less son?
My name is Giselle Merck. I am a gun victim survivor. I am with Everytown Survivor Fellow, as well as Moms Demand Action. My precious son, J.C. Webster, was murdered July 19th, 2017. He attended Albert Einstein High School. I am at the football field where I attended his homecoming game, and he made the goal. I have 3 children. JC was my second. All of them, plus myself, went to Montgomery County Public Schools. To the high schools, the goal behind me: never lose your goal. Always stay fixed and focused, and you will make it. You will achieve. Let nothing stop you. You've got this.
Hi, how you doing? My name is Devin. I'm a product of Northwood High School here in Montgomery County. Me and JC went to school for a little bit, but then he ended up transferring to this school right here behind me, Albert Einstein High School. Pretty much, I just want to say JC was a friend, a brother to me. He was a teammate to me when we were younger, like younger kids before high school. But I just want to say losing him and having to deal with healing and the trauma of losing someone so close in the manner that he lost his life. It's a process, first of all, and it's just hard to deal with. Because I think about him every day, you know what I mean? I live for him now, and he lives through me, so I check on his mom and do what I can. Just as a friend and what I would want done for me. My advice to the younger generation and the kids coming up in school now is to just be yourself. Don't fall victim to the pressure or the, try to impress your friends or to look cool, because ego will be your downfall real fast if you don't learn while you're young.
Hi, my name is Lucas, and I'm a product of Montgomery County Public Schools, having graduated from right here, Albert Einstein High School. Another Montgomery County Public Schools product and Albert Einstein graduate. was J.C. Webster. He's not here with us anymore. Just like so many other young people, he was a victim of gun violence. Me and J.C. were classmates, friends, and teammates. And it hits me so hard that he's not here anymore. Sometimes it's still difficult for me to grasp. I never thought that it would happen to him or that it would affect me. But gun violence is a very serious issue that can affect anyone. My advice to young people today would be to not wait until gun violence personally affects you to start caring. And remember to always stay involved, because that's a great way to stay safe.
By the way, I want to thank those people who participated. We do a lot of outreach to families who have suffered loss, whether it's, I did a program earlier this morning about opioid overdoses, and I had a mom with me who lost her son to opiates. We try to engage families, and that mom who's in that video lost her son to gun violence, and so we're very thankful to her for her participation with us in this. By the way, it's illegal now. Let me say, ghost guns that I'm terrified about are now illegal. We have a great debt of gratitude to two legislators here in Montgomery County that led that fight. The Attorney General for the state of Maryland, Brian Frosch, who's from Bethesda, Montgomery County, led that fight. The fact that it is now illegal to buy a ghost gun or to distribute a ghost gun in the state of Maryland. There are gun laws. People with criminal records cannot get guns regardless of their age. You must take a firearm safety class before you're allowed to have a gun. There are licensing laws that are in place, and they are detailed before you're ever allowed to buy a gun. At what age? I've said this several times. At what age are you able to legally possess a gun? In Maryland, it's 21. By the way, that means you don't have to point it at somebody. You don't have to use it in a crime. You don't have to beat somebody with it. Your possession of it, you are a prohibited person. It's possession of a handgun underage is a crime. You don't have to do anything with it except have it. And if you have it, you're committing a crime. And if you, normally, when it comes to criminal justice issues in Maryland, you got to be 18 before you go to adult court. You go to adult court at age 16 when it comes to guns. So if you have a gun, you're over the age of 16, you're not going to juvenile court, you're going to adult court. The results will be very good. If you see something, say something. Look, again, Mr. Owusu is going to speak to you in a second about the people here, but parents, counselors, teachers, staff members, school security, everyone has a role to play, and there are magnificent men and women in this auditorium today with me that want to help you. If you see something, say something. You can remain anonymous and confidential. Questions that are asked, there's some Supreme Court cases that came out recently. Did the Supreme Court decisions change who can get a gun? The answer is no. You still can't get a gun if you're under the age of 21. You still can't get a gun if you have a criminal history. You still can't get a gun. You still need a license. Will I stay anonymous if I submit a tip? The answer to that is yes. You will remain anonymous. And then, if I'm feeling threatened, I have this question here, and I love this question because this is a conversation we have and an explanation that's given. But it's one that we just can't accept. If I'm feeling threatened by someone, is it okay to bring a gun to school? The answer is unequivocally, absolutely, it's not. There's no tolerance for guns in schools. I will tell you what I think. If you are fit into that category, talk to a trusted adult. And this is where I'm going to turn it over now to your principal, Mr. Owusu, who's going to talk to you about some of the trusted adults in your school that you can turn to in any of these circumstances.
Thank you, sir. Perfect. So we have many trusted adults, right? And on that screen, and I'll go through it very quickly, a trusted adult is someone that you feel comfortable talking to. And usually, even I have a trusted adult. I know Steve Chaikin, who was in the State's Attorney's Office, he used to say, I'm 51 years old and I still have a trusted adult. I'll talk to my dad, I'll reach out to my mom, my brother, but you need to have a trusted adult. And some of these people on this screen, are trusted adults. The trusted adult that you see pretty much every day is your classroom teacher, paraeducator, or staff member. That's a trusted adult. For me, that's number one. Also, even I've seen people come to the office and talking to the secretaries as trusted adults. A substitute teacher that comes in all the time as a long-term sub, trusted adult. I know Ms. Wax is in here, and many trusted adults. Mr. Shields, who's our acting team leader, he's our security team leader. He's a trusted adult as well as the other security staff. Mr. German, Ms. Reyes, Mr. Williams, Mr. Cedillo, Mr. Hyman, and Mr. Thomas. And then we have our officer, our community engagement officer, Officer Gallagher, who's in the back. He's a trusted adult. We don't need to be scared of officers. They're here to actually protect and serve, but he's a trusted adult. Our counseling and wellness staff are trusted adults. So I'm not going to go through all the counselors, but we have 10 counselors who are fantastic, right? You can go see them, you can talk to them. They are trusted adults. We have tremendous staff. Ms. Shears, who's our social worker. I think she's in the back, Ms. Kay. Wave hello, Ms. Kay. Hi. Fantastic addition to our Clarksburg staff. She's been talking to kids all day. I go by her room, 5, 6 kids in there all the time. Please, go talk to some of these individuals. Ms. Lester, who's our school psychologist, Ms. Chance, who's our people personnel worker, as well as Ms. Bailey, who's our parent community coordinator. She's also the majorette sponsor, right? She's doing clubs and activities just to get close to you guys. And then, obviously, I can be a trusted adult, right? I've known some of the students in this room since they were born because we used to be neighbors, right? I know them, I know their parents. But there are people that are here that I just met this year as a trusted adult, as well as our admin team, who Mr. Haynes, Ms. Murray, Ms. Grigsby, Ms. Cow, Ms. Mulcahy, and Mr. Bazemore. I see people talking to Mr. Bazemore in the hallways or in his office all the time. These are trusted adults. And then, as I already said, the main office staff. You need to talk. You just can't keep it all in. That's really, really important, okay? I do want to make sure that you know that. So just know that we are here for you, and the message that State's Attorney McCarthy is giving is important. When your parents aren't here, right? When your guardians and caregivers aren't here, it's called a local parentis, right? I have 4 boys of my own at home. But when I come here, I have 2,241 right now, family members, as students and as staff. You are my family. We're a one Clarksburg family. So if something were to happen to you, it crushes me like it's my own child. Because I'm entrusting my children to somebody else. Your parents and caregivers are trusting you to me. So this stuff has to stop. It has to stop. It can't continue. Because ultimately, if you don't feel safe, you cannot learn, period. And there's no point in school if you're not learning. So number 1 priority is safety. Sir, let me get back to you.
Thank you, Mr. Caruso. Let me just say, it's a great honor to be here with you. I hope you will join us, join your principals, the wonderful people that are running this terrific school, beautiful school here at Clarksburg. Help us make your learning environment what you want it to be. I think that's what you want. I know that if we took a poll, who wants to learn in a safe environment? I think every hand's going to go up. And that's all I want for you. That's all I want for you. We need your help. I want you to be safe. God bless you. Have a great year. We're off to a great start. And thank you for being so wonderfully attentive today to us. And have a wonderful day. Go Clarksburg.
Thank you. We're going to dismiss this. We're going to be going back to period 8. Back to period 8. So we're going to dismiss on this side. You can go out that side door. The middle aisles. You can go straight out to the back. You're going back to 8 period. Please and thank you. Walk with a purpose, please. Walk with a purpose. Straight to 8 period.
All right, let's give you guys a beat. I'll never get it done.
to use all exit doors as possible. We're going back to period 8. Again, period 8.
No, but I'm headed to the. Oh, okay.
Use all available doors, please and thank you. All for the purpose.
Yeah. Thanks so much. Thanks so much. You're welcome. I hope so.
Jordan, go somewhere else.
I think,
Morning's clear, a lot of kids, leaving the locker. That'd be amazing. 3 minutes.
I used to work in but I'm the IT person.
Hi guys, come on in. Please sit in the assigned section of the auditorium with your teacher.
Stop.
All right, guys, come on in and sit with your teacher. Find your seats quickly so we can get started with the presentation. We're glad you're here today. Again, hopefully you reviewed where you're sitting in the auditorium with your teacher prior to today, but if not, you can find someone with a colored seating chart. We'll help you find your way. The quicker we get started, the quicker we get seated, the quicker we can get started. So come on in, grab a seat. Teachers, please remember to sit with your classes. Please help redirect students if they're not listening, but we think that they will. It's a really strong presentation, so please come on in, guys. Get seated quickly. It's going to get busy here very shortly, so the quicker y'all get seated, you first people in the auditorium, the easier it'll make it for all the people following. So please find your seats quickly. If you have questions about where you're seated, ask for a teacher or ask any other adult. Let's get seated quickly. Thank you.
Left. Left.
All right, guys, as you're making your way in, how you doing? It's me, Mr. Mulcahy. I'm glad you're here. We're glad to see you. Find your seats, please. Again, you were given a specific section of the auditorium to sit in. You're sitting with your classmates and with your teacher, so please quickly find your seats, and we'll get started. Please don't stand in the aisle, guys. Sit down once you find your section. Standing in the aisle is not good for anyone. If you're confused, ask an adult, ask somebody with a seating chart. We can help you find your section. You should find your 8th period teacher, and they will help you find your seat. But please do not stand in the aisles. We're trying to get a lot of kids in here quickly, and we need you to follow directions. Now's the time to be great listeners, and we appreciate it. Again, keep making your way in, keep making your way in. Once you find your assigned aisle, just make your way right in. I get it, you guys want to sit next to your friends, but right now what we need you to do is get seated quickly. Come on in, please file in. Do not sit in the first seat, file in, and then sit down accordingly, guys. It allows everyone else to get into the rows easier. Okay, do not sit down in the first seats. Please and thank you. Once you find your assigned row, move inward and allow everyone else to fill in behind you. That will allow us all to get seated quickly. Please do not stand in the aisles. Please make your way into your assigned rows as quick as you can. Teachers, we appreciate your support and help with this. Thank you for sitting with your classes. We are grateful for your help. Again, guys, make your way into the row. Walk all the way down. Do not sit in the first seat. We've got to get everyone in, so please, 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 once you find your aisle, get in there and get seated. Do not stand in the aisles. We need the aisles to stay clear, so please quickly make your way in and sit down. Thank you.
Wait, you guys please.
What's up, Coyotes? Good to see you. Come on in and get down and get seated quickly. Find your teachers. They will help you find your assigned section of the auditorium. Sit down as quickly as you can, and we're going to get started. We've got a phenomenal presentation here for you today. Teachers, please make sure you stick with your classes. Help the kids find their seats. Hopefully we can get started in the next few minutes, but that's dependent on how well we're listening. Kids are doing a good job. Keep it up, Coyotes. You're doing a good job so far. Come on in, guys. Please don't stand in the aisles. Please just move your way into the aisle that you're supposed, or the row that you're supposed to be in. Do not stand and wait in the aisle. Just make your way in quickly. We understand you want to sit next to your friends, but we just need you guys to get seated at this time. So please, 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 make your way in quickly. You'll be able to hang out with your friends all weekend. You'll be okay if you're not sitting right next to them for the next 35-minute presentation. So please, again, make your way in. Sit down with your teachers and your classmates, and we're going to get started here shortly. I think this group's better than the first group, just saying. You guys are doing a great job. Keep it up. Don't tell the first group I said that. and sit down. All right, I want to see this group be better than the first group. They were pretty good. You guys are doing all right. We'll see. I'll render my judgment at the end. Keep moving in, keep moving in. Find your teachers, find your sections. All right, guys, let's start finding open rows and sitting down. I know we have a seating chart, but teachers, the biggest thing is that you just sit with your classes. Let's just get seated, find open seats and sit down. Find open seats and sit down. Teachers, please sit with your classes. Let's go. Let's see if we can all be seated in the next 2 minutes. Let's see if we can all be seated in the next 2 minutes. There's your challenge for this Friday afternoon. If we can do that, buy another one Chick-fil-A. I'm just kidding. I can't afford that. I can't afford that. Come on. I'm public servant. But get your butts in your seats. Let's go. Miss Woodland's up here bragging about her students. Not bad. Not bad. Impressive. All right, guys, I really need this middle row to be cleared, so please, we have seats up here at the front. All right? Quickly go in, grab a seat. Let's see if you can be seated in 1 minute. This is your 1 minute call. This is your 1 minute call. All right, this is your 30-second call. 30-second call, Coyotes. It looks like most of us have found our seats. Teachers, thank you for your support with your students. We are greatly appreciative of it. It's a beautiful Friday. We got a home football game tonight. We're all excited about that. Let's make our way into our seats. If we can have everyone seated, adults included here in the next 30 seconds, that would be fantastic. All right. This is your 15-second call. How's it going, beautiful people? We're glad you're here today. Has anyone seen Mr. Owusu? Oh, I found him. Whew. Thought I lost him. What will we do? All right, 10 seconds, and I'm going to hand the mic over. Ladies and gentlemen, if you would give a nice, warm round of applause for our leader, our principal, Mr. Edward Owusu. Thank you, everyone.
Hey, everybody. First of all, thank you so much for coming in such a orderly fashion. I think you guys were definitely quicker than the last group, so I really appreciate that. Also, I appreciate, as you know, when we do assemblies, that's why I'm kind of talking low, because I don't need to scream. You guys are doing great. When we have assemblies, you give your utmost attention to the speaker, whether it's me, staff member, or a guest. You give the speaker your attention, your undivided attention. So you're doing that. One thing to help with that is if you can, if you would, some of you still have AirPods and earbuds in your ear. Go ahead and take that out, please. It's not garbage. Be okay. And then also turn off those phones because we have a very, very important presentation. And so I'm here basically just to remind you very simply to give your utmost attention because it's a very, very important topic that we're talking about. And as I look, I see the eyes following me, so that's fantastic. And I thank our staff members for being in the aisles with you. And if you have anything that you need, just reach out to one of the teachers that are in the aisles with you. And the administrators will be walking them down the aisles as well. But first, if you wouldn't mind giving a round of applause to State's Attorney John McCarthy.
Good morning, good afternoon, actually. It's a great honor to be here at Clarksburg High School with you today to talk about something that I think is really vitally important to the community, and that's keeping our schools safe. I will tell you, what does the state's attorney do? I oversee, as the top law enforcement official in Montgomery County, prosecution of all crimes in Montgomery County. I have over 200 people that work for me, and we handle 25,000 cases a year. That includes murders, rapes, drug offenses, child abuse, sex offenses. We do them all. I have about 100 lawyers that work for me. 65% of the lawyers that work for me are women, helping to keep you guys safe. One of the vital parts of what I think I can do as state's attorney is to talk about and educate the public about how they can join with us to make them safer. I don't try to deceive myself to think that I can do it by myself. The police can't do it by themselves. School officials can't do it by themselves. We need to do it together. As an opening theme to what I'm going to talk about here today is I'm going to challenge you because I think there's a role for every student in keeping the environment in which they learn safe. You know stuff that I don't know. Stuff that school officials don't know. Things that are troubling your fellow students that others don't know that could affect your safety. We're going to be talking today about your role, but I hope will inspire you to take an increased role in making your own environment safer. But we're going to begin by looking at a video where some of the results of individuals not coming forward, not identifying, not cooperating, and causing victimization of people because of too many guns in our community. This video it's an emotional video, and it's great.
Could I say to my son?
You have a role to play in making the environment that we live in safe. You know, this is not something I don't talk to your parents about. I've been state attorney here for a while in Montgomery County, and what's troubling to me is when there are large shootings can occur in a community and no one calls us. No one calls the police or tells them that someone can be shot in a school and officials are not notified. That cannot be the world you want for yourself. That cannot be the world you want for yourselves. We had a situation very recently in a local high school just last week. And it didn't end tragically. But I like it for the following reason. There was a reported gun in a bathroom at BCC. 2 students immediately reported it. One to his mother, who called the front office, and another boy who left the bathroom and went to the front office and reported it. I think there's somebody with a gun in the bathroom. No one was hurt. The gun wasn't recovered. But nobody was hurt. That is stark contrast to what happened in the bathroom in another high school in this county less than a year ago, when no one called. I don't think that's who you are. I can't believe that's who we are as a community. That we care so little and love so little each other. That we wouldn't speak up. And this is what this is about. It's about the role. The role that you have to play in making the environment safe. If I was talking to your parents, I'd talk to them about their role in keeping the community safe. But I'm talking to you. This is your environment. This is your school. And there's things that happen in schools that teachers don't know about. God knows I get that. I'm a parent. I have 4 kids. There's things that happen as a parent that we don't know about, but there are sometimes when it is essential to share with a trusted adult. I've met a lot of men and women in this building today. Knew some of them before I got here today. And you've got some magnificent trusted adults that you can turn to inside this building. So we are here to promote safety in our community. Job number 1. Prevent youth gun possession. Tell you a little bit about the law that you may or may not know. And empower you. I want you to be an advocate. I was with some of your officers from your student government earlier today. And they were interviewed by TV and radio people, and one of the speakers was a junior and one was a sophomore. And they talked about stuff that I never talked about when I was your age. We didn't talk about gun safety issues. And I actually think it's really sad that that's the reality of the world. But you have a role, and I think back to mass shootings that have occurred, ones that you know about. Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School, Florida. Big 17 kids were shot. Those kids are now nationally famous. Because they go to Congress and they lobby and they shout and they scream out for gun safety laws. Because they want a safer environment, they want a safer world. But how many people have suffered to get them? My message is different. I have great faith in the people that are sitting in this room here today. I think that if you talk about real empowerment, be empowered to make the world that you live in safer. Your world today is your school. Your world today is your school. If you see something, say something. It's not a very complex message. And seeing something and saying something is not always about, I saw a gun. Because we're going to talk about this later on. Maybe it's I'm having a conversation with somebody who's my friend here in school, and they're in crisis. And they're saying stuff to me that is alarming to me about getting access to guns, or I'm thinking about doing this, or I'm not asking you to call the police. I'm not asking you to call me. Talk to a counselor. Talk to Mr. Owens. Talk to your assistant principals. Say, look, you may want to talk to John. He is saying some crazy shit. He needs help. So when you gun threats in schools are serious. And these are national numbers. I think this is scary stuff. Juvenile homicide offenders, who's committing murders that are under the age of 18. Increasingly, that's what this really shows to us. People are using guns to commit murder. Under 18. If you look at all other weapons, actually it's gone down. There's less homicides with non-guns, more homicides with guns. The new world that we live in, where we have active shooter situation, you have active shooter, probably have active shooter training. Trust me, I have active shooter training. But look at our numbers here. 31 and 17, if we went back to the year 2000, which is around, probably received some of your births, not all of them. There are probably 0 active shooters. Very few, maybe 99, 98 was the first one we had, a number. But look at the jump in 2020 to 2021, 52%. You know, what happens in the community, and I've heard school officials in Montgomery County say this, and I agree with this. What happens in the community ultimately makes its way into our schools. What happens in our community ultimately makes its way into our school. You don't live in a bubble. I don't live in a bubble. I've prosecuted in the course of over 100 people for murder in my lifetime. 100 times. I don't live in a bubble. But my favorite number is 0. My favorite number is 0. If I did not have a homicide to prosecute, if I didn't have a gun violence act that occurred at school, if I didn't have a gun that was seized in a school, and the answer was 0, I'm the best prosecutor in America. I think education is a really vital part of this. The reason we're here is to talk to you, educate you about what some of the numbers are, because you deserve the truth, but also to challenge you to take a role in helping to make this environment better. The environment that I think is what you want. We as a community have to work together. I'm not here by myself today. Montgomery County schools have been actively involved in helping me put this together. Montgomery County Police, Moms Demand Action, the videos and stuff. These are national groups where mothers across this country have banded together because they've lost a loved one to gun violence. And they're trying to make intelligent ways to put an end to it. So on. These are scary numbers too. You look at this. Teenagers, 12 to 17, that's probably everybody in the room. Maybe somebody's 18. That's probably just about everybody in this room. Teenagers, this is gun violence. 12 to 17, in 2000, it went up in 21, by the way. Over 4,000 teens lost their lives to gun violence. Biggest number ever. 12 to 17. Another number that I want to look at is unintentional shootings. Another thing that I'm concerned about with guns is not because somebody actually always points a gun at somebody and says, I'm going to shoot you or hurt you. Sometimes people are not experienced with guns, and they unintentionally, accidentally, hurt themselves or others. So there's different aspects to what we're talking about. Look, Uvalde Parkway. Are you willing to do something before something happens? Not wait for it to happen, and then say, why didn't we do it better? Don't wait and say, it's somebody It's all our jobs. If you see something, say something. We're going to talk about this. There's ways to do this to a trusted adult, and at the end, Mr. Owusu is going to come up and he's going to talk to you about some of the wonderful people that work in this building that you can turn to for help. You can turn to him. I know his door's open. You know, when these shootings take place, social scientists have begun to study the shooters, and quite frankly, they're all dudes. They're all boys. I don't know any of these mass shootings that have been. I'm not ignoring the young women here, but let me tell you, it's not a badge of honor to be a guy. But unfortunately, it does seem that your mass shooters are invariably boys. Why do these people get engaged? What kind of commonalities, when they do research about this, do they see in the shooters that are red flag things to look for? Now, these may be red flag things for some of your teachers to look for, maybe some of your parents to look for, but we hide things from our parents. I have my kids tell me stuff they did. Now they're in their 30s and 40s. They tell me stuff about what they did when they were younger. Oh, didn't know that. So a lot of stuff I don't know. There's a lot of stuff you know that I don't. Suddenly withdrawing from friends, bullying. This is a huge problem for us in our schools. Look, a lot of it, I know, starts on social media. The bullying, some of it is direct face-to-face. More of it might be through social media, but it leads sometimes to violence. We do terrible things to each other, particularly when we can try to do it anonymously. There's all kinds of studies about, would you bully somebody face-to-face? 80% of people who bully say, I would never do it face-to-face. I'll use social media. I'll do it anonymously. I don't have the guts to do it to somebody's face. Irritability, lack of patience, being angry quickly, experience chronic loneliness, social isolation. Someone who has persistent thoughts about harming themselves or others. Look, is there an emotional overlay? Is there maybe a psychiatric overlay to a lot of this stuff? The answer is yes. And sometimes your friends are saying things to you that they're not saying to anybody else. Are you going to say something? Because maybe it's just an emotional crisis, or maybe they're headed in another way, in another direction, particularly if they say they're making direct threats against other people, or they're bragging about access to guns or weapons, or they're recruiting people for an attack. You know, there's a lot of stories that you can look on the internet and stuff like that where people say, well, I know that Billy said he was going to do that, but I didn't believe him. I didn't think he was really say something. By the way, Maryland did something very smart in 2018. They passed something called the School Safety Act, and they created, and I know that when I said this in the last assembly, I saw some nodding from people that were here from the school board. They are aware of this. Maryland has a tip line. If you want to report something that's happening anywhere, you can call the tip lines for young people. I actually, see that phone number right there? 1-800-Maryland, be safe. I didn't have a tip ticket then. I literally called the number. I sat in my office one day and I called them. I want to see if anybody's going to answer the phone. The phone got answered immediately. And I interviewed the man who was on the other side. I asked him about how many calls they get a day. They get about 10 to 12 a day. Statewide. I asked them, it goes down a little bit in the summer, but they're open 365 days a year, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. I think you got a lot of wonderful people in this building. You can go through as trusted adults. Your principal's going to speak to that again. But if you don't want to go for whatever reason, if you want to do this anonymously, you can do it. And there's a mechanism set up for you to do it. The point is say something. Violence close to home. It would be nice if I could say, we don't have violence close to home. We don't have any concerns in Montgomery County, but that would be a lie. I'm not into lying. That's a ghost gun. These are guns you can buy online and assemble. By the way, there's some good news coming to slide too. They're now illegal. They don't have serial numbers, they're untraceable, that's the name. This is why I was so terrified about ghost guns. Who buys ghost guns? Two categories of people really buy ghost guns. Because if you're a legitimate person and you can buy a gun, you're going to go to Gilbert Guns, you're going to apply for a gun permit, you're going to do whatever you need to do to get the gun, you can pay for it, take it home. Or you're going to go to a gun store. But there are certain people in the community that we've said that person should not have a gun. Why? Well, maybe they committed a prior crime of rape, robbery, arson, child abuse, sex crime. We don't like to harm our sex offenders. So we in Maryland, when we do the record checks, we won't sell them guns. Who else don't we sell guns to? We don't sell guns to people under the age of 21. So these ghost guns, disproportionate. This is absolutely in Montgomery County. From my standpoint, they have fallen largely in the hands of people under the age of 21 who by law are prohibited to have a firearm. It's young people with guns that buy online. The first ghost gun killing that occurred in Montgomery County was committed by a person 14 years old. He shot and killed someone in a park on a basketball court with a gun. And the story about that gun was like a lot of the guns. He's 14. He bought the gun, shipped to his house, assembled in his home, with the help of a friend, taken to a public park. 14 years old. These numbers are frightening to me because, number one, it's the wrong people getting them. Number of total guns seized is 907. Not the highest we've ever had, but getting close. But this is only as of September the 11th. In terms of ghost gun, the entire year we went from 16, 56, 71. We're already double where we were last year. There have been more ghost guns seized by the police on the street in Montgomery County this year. Twice as many than ever 5 years ago. I didn't know what a ghost gun was. I wish I didn't know what a ghost gun was then. Now, those guns are disproportionately in the hands of children. Those guns are disproportionately in the hands of children. This is a video put together by one of the organizations I mentioned before, Moms Demand Action. Some of this violence does come home. We sometimes bring actual victims with us. In lieu of having a victim with us today, we have this video to share.
My mom was killed 8 years ago. I'm a mother of a married son. He was born at age 20.
My junior year was when it really got real for me because we had 3 gun-related incidents on campus.
Every single time I walk into Clarksburg, the first thing I look for is the nearest exit.
What if my family is the next family that has one less son?
My name is Giselle Mark. I am a gun victim survivor. I am with Everytown Survivor Fellow, as well as Moms Demand Action. My precious son, J.C. Webster, was murdered July 19th, 2017. He attended Albert Einstein High School. I am at the football field where I attended his homecoming game, and he made the goal. I have 3 children. JC was my second. All of them, plus myself, went to Montgomery County Public Schools, to the high schools. The goal behind me Never lose your goal. Always stay fixed and focused, and you will make it. You will achieve. Let nothing stop you. You've got this.
How you doing? My name is Devin. I'm a product of Northwood High School here in Montgomery County. Me and JC went to school for a little bit, but then he ended up transferring to this school right here behind me, Albert Einstein High School. Pretty much, I just want to say JC was a friend and a brother to me. He was a teammate to me when we were younger, like younger kids before high school. But I just want to say losing him and having to deal with healing and the trauma of losing someone so close in the manner that he lost his life. It's a process, first of all, and it's just hard to deal with. Because I think about him every day, you know what I mean? I live for him now, he lives through me, so I check on his mom and do what I can. Just as a friend and what I would want done for me. My advice to the younger generation and the kids coming up in school now is to just be yourself. Don't fall victim to the pressure or the, try to impress your friends or to look cool. Because ego will be your downfall real fast if you don't learn while you're young.
Hi, my name is Lucas, and I'm a product of Montgomery County Public Schools, having graduated from right here, Albert Einstein High School. Another Montgomery County Public Schools product and Albert Einstein graduate is Jason Webster. He's not here with us anymore. Just like so many other young people, he was a victim of gun violence. Me and JC were classmates, friends, and teammates. And it hits me so hard that he's not here anymore. Sometimes it's still difficult for me to grasp. I never thought that it would happen to him or that it would affect me. But gun violence is a very serious issue that can affect anyone. My advice to young people today would be to not wait until gun violence personally affects you to start caring. And remember to always stay involved, because that's a great way to stay safe.
Don't wait until it happens to start caring. I didn't know he was going to say that. But I listened to this. This was put together because, again, this is close to home stuff. Don't wait to start caring until something happens. It's a great message. It's really my message, too. Gun laws in you. We now have a gun ban. It's illegal to sell guns. I think it was the most important bill that was passed by the legislature last year in terms of creating safety in our streets. Maryland does have restrictions. If you want to buy a gun, you have to apply for a license. You apply with the state police. They're going to do a background check, make sure you're not a prohibited person because you've done some other bad stuff before. And you got to take a firearm safety class before you get your gun. At what age can you possess a gun? It's 21. Now, possession, by the way, you are in violation of the law holding the gun, being in possession of the gun. You don't have to fire it. You don't have to shoot it in an armed robbery. You don't have to bludgeon somebody with it before you're guilty of a crime. Simple possession of a gun under the age of 21 by itself is a crime. And if you're 16 years or older, and that's probably a good many of you in this room, you're not going to kiddie court. You're charged as an adult. You possess a firearm, you go into the adult system. Maryland is one of the strictest gun law states in the country. Maybe the first or second, it's right up there. We have real tough gun laws in Maryland. And at 16, you become an adult, you're not going to juvenile court. And I will tell you, I have no tolerance for guns in school. Zero tolerance for guns in school. Zero tolerance for guns in school. Now there's some fabulous people in this building, and we're going to get some details about it from your principal in a few seconds, but your parents, the young man that saw the gun in the bathroom at BCC called his mom. And then the other young man went down to the administration office and reported it. That was a great response. I love that response. I don't know what was going to happen if there wasn't that immediate response, but I know there was at least a safe ending to that story. Everyone has a role to play in school security. If you see something, say something. You can be anonymous. You can be confidential. Some questions that we get asked all the time. There's some new Supreme Court cases. I don't know if you're paying attention, maybe in your social studies classes or your AP history classes, they're teaching this stuff to your government or something. There's been some new Supreme Court cases. They do not change. Any new Supreme Court cases has no effect whatsoever on the fact that if you're under the age of 21, which is every one of you sitting here, you're not allowed to possess a gun. You can't apply for a gun. You would be denied at least till your 21st birthday. And if you got to your 21st birthday, you've previously been convicted of a felony, you will never own a gun in this state. Legally. Will I stay anonymous? Suppose I give a tip. Will I stay anonymous if I give a tip on the tip line? Well, the answer is yes, you will. That's why they set it up, to maintain that anonymity. Now again, there's such wonderful people in this school, and I'm now going to, I'm going to turn this over in 1 second to your principal, but if I feel threatened by someone, is it okay to bring a gun to school? The first ghost gun we ever seized in our campus is this school. That was the explanation provided. That young man went to jail. There was no explanation that you can provide. What you need to do is talk to a trusted adult. And I'm going to turn it over to your principal, Mr. Galusu, who's going to talk to you specifically about some of the people in this building. If you have a safety issue, that's how you solve it, not bringing a gun to school.
Thanks, sir. And as State's Attorney McCarthy said, I'll repeat, the first ghost gun arrest was in this school. Let that sink in. First one. I hadn't been principal more than 2 months in this school. And I say that because it's important. If that individual and other individuals following had talked to somebody, it would have been prevented. Right? So on the screen lists out a bunch of trusted adults. And one gentleman talked to me about trusted adults before, young ladies. One gentleman talked to me, Mr. Steve McCarthy, who's an attorney as well. He told me at 50 years old, I have a trusted adult. Call my mom, my dad, my brother. And that's what I do, my sister. I have a trusted adult. You see trusted adults every single day. Your first trusted adult is your classroom teacher, staff member. Most of you have 7 of them. Right? You have our security team, Mr. Shields, and Mr. German, Mr. Reyes, Mr. Williams, Mr. Dio, Mr. Hyman, Mr. Thomas. Our security staff, they know a lot of you. They are trusted adults. Our community engagement officer, Mr. Gallagher, Officer Gallagher is in the back right now. He's a trusted adult. I went to high school with Officer Gallagher. Right? You don't have to be afraid of a police officer if you're doing what you're supposed to be doing. Right? Also, our counseling and wellness team. There are a lot of individuals there. There are a lot of counselors. There's 10 counselors. They're great individuals. They are people that you can go and talk to. Obviously, Ms. Shears, she's new to our school. She's not in this room right now. She's our social worker, a trusted adult. Ms. Lester, our school psychologist. Ms. Chance, our PPW, our pupil personnel worker. And Ms. Bailey, our parent community coordinator. She's currently our majorette's sponsor. So we have trusted adults even trying to sponsor clubs and get closer to you, to talk to you and be those individuals that you can lean on to talk to. Obviously, you have your parents and your caregivers. That's really, really important. And then, as well as the administrative team. Many students come and talk to me. There are people in this room I've known since they were born because we were neighbors. Right? And now they're here at Clarksburg. I've seen them grow up. I'm a trusted adult to them. Fact is, here's the thing, with the administrative team, I have 4 boys of my own at home. When I come here, I have 2,240 other children of my own. I say that because I send my kids to other schools. And I'm trusting right? At their elementary and or middle and or high school. I'm trusting that their staff is that trusted adult, just like I need to be your trusted adult. But by law, it's called a local parentis. When your parents or caregivers aren't here, I'm that individual. Because if something happens to you, who are they coming at? Me. So I don't want to see anything happen to any one of you. Because it hurts me. Just like those parents on the screen, I've been to funerals of my students. Right? I don't want to come to none of y'all funerals. I'd rather come to your wedding. I'd rather come to your bar mitzvah, whatever it's going to be, to celebrate you. Right? Not the other way around. So you have plenty of trusted adults, as well as some, many of you come into the main office and talk to the secretary of staff. They are trusted adults. So we have many trusted adults. Just talk it out. You do not need a weapon. You do not need a ghost gun. That will get you either dead or locked up. That's it. Dead or locked up. So please, just think it through. And remember, the first one in Montgomery County, that's not something that I want to Google and find out. Clarksburg? For real? Just think it through. That's not worth it. It is really not worth it. I'm going to turn it back to Mr. Attorney McCarthy.
Thank you, Dr. Lewis. Can I say, it's a great honor to be here, and can I say, I am really impressed by the attention every one of you have given to this presentation today. I really do think this is a challenge to you to join in partnership with everybody to make this a better community. I pray, I want you to have a wonderful year. And we're off to a great year. I just hope that you will join me and join Dr. Owusu in making this school safe as it possibly can. This is a great community. This is a great school. I want you to have a safe and loving and wonderful year. That's what I pray for everyone. And that's why we're here. Help us bring that energy at the front end. Bring the energy to the front end, not the back end. That's a real change. That would be a real change. Be a change agent in your school. Thank you very much. Thanks for your attention.
All right. Before we dismiss, because it's still have like 5 minutes. Give me a second. Okay? And I didn't get to say this to the last group, but I know some of them may be watching online. I'll wait. I want to talk to you afterwards, actually. I want to remind you, very briefly, because hey, this was a lot to take in, but I hope it resonates with many of you. We're talking about safety in schools. See something, say something, trust an adult, say no to the guns and the nose guns. Basically just weapons. Right? Really important. I can't stress that enough. I want to turn it to a lighter note that this evening we have a football game, right? That's great. We have all these things going on. I'm hoping that many of you decide to come out to the game. If you do decide to, that's great. To come cheer on the team and watch the game, not just stand around and talk to each other. Bring your ID, which is really important. You're not going to be able to get in unless we have some form of identification. And that ID could be if you have your synergy or student view with your courses listed, that's good enough. If you're coming with a friend from another school, you have to have they have to have a parent or guardian with them. Right? So that's really important. The gate will open at 5 p.m. The game will start at 6:30. I'm telling you the game opens at 5 because when we had the other game against Seneca, many people got here around 6, and they did not get to the stadium until maybe 7:15 because the line was so long. And we weren't really checking IDs then. We are going to check IDs now, so the line's going to be extremely long. Get here early, okay? With that said, it's 2:26. We're going to dismiss in a moment. Not yet. Make sure you take everything with you. Remember Monday, there's no school on Monday. I'm sure you guys know that, okay? If you're going to depart, you take buses, you're going to go out to the buses. and have a wonderful day.
No, I'm not.
Thank you guys for everything.